right, Tom. That's right. We're here. It's 1973, but it's the second half of 1973.
Man, 1973. That takes me back, man.
Yeah, just think about it. Bell bottoms.
I mean, you're in the spirit tie-dyes.
Tie-dye, that's right. Platform shoes.
You know what I wish would come back? Mutton chops sideburns. Man,
Yeah, the
you
mutton
gave
chops.
that
You
off
know what,
in the
Tom?
pick.
I could see you with those mutton chops. Were you selling green sheets at Delaware Park in 1973 with the mutton chops? I think I saw a picture of you there.
Oh, actually, I was at Philly Park back then. But anyway, 1973. You know what happened in 1973? It was a lot bigger than this, but the first cell phone call was made in 1973.
That's amazing. 1973, the first cell phone call. Now think about it. We can't live without our cell phones. That's amazing. 1973. How about this? Remember this one? The Battle of the Sexes. Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King. Obviously, the first time we started seeing fixed things in sports was that one, huh?
Yeah, that kind of set off. That was back in the. I think that was in the Astrodome. That was a huge event. But hey, you know what? I see your Battle of the Sexes, one of the greatest movies of all time. The Exorcist was released in 1973.
Oh, you got my head spinning already, Tom, with that one. But we're talking, but a movie you didn't mention, Tom, The Sting, 1973. Come on, I'm disappointed in you.
Gambling, yeah, you should be. The Sting, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, listen, out of sight, out of mind. But how about Watergate? That was a pretty big deal, that scandal in the height of 1973.
Oh, despite that, we just keep on trucking, man. How about this? In 1973, O.J. Simpson was the male athlete of the year, and Pete Rose was baseball's NL MVP.
OJ and Pete Rose. That's what you're going to. Wow. Once again, that just proves the 1970s was one of, if not the best decade ever, when OJ and Pete Rose were the two of the top sports stars. But, but listen, at the end of the day, we're getting to it. The greatest athlete, not OJ, not Pete Rose, in 1973, stood on four legs. And we're going to talk about him, Tom. Are you ready to go for this? Now, everybody out there, Tom, knows the story. They know the story of Secretariat, right? They know this story.
Seen the movie.
Seen the movie, that's right. Disney, fun thing for everybody out there. I want everybody to put who they think Disney would have playing Ron Turcotte right now. Put that in the comments below. Who would Disney be having play Ron Turcotte? If you know what I mean. So, but we know the story till the Belmont, right? We know this. What about after the Belmont? Let's talk about that. Let's do something that other people aren't doing. I learned a lot of stuff from this. So let's get right into it, Tom, with Secretariat. It's June 30th, 1973. And the Triple Crown winner Secretariat has been shipped to Arlington Park for the Arlington Invitational. Now, this is just 3 weeks after his world record-breaking win in the Belmont. And it had been stated by the trainer of the 3-year-old, Lucian Lauren. Prior to the Belmont start, he did say that he really didn't know how he could give this horse a rest because he's so strong and so full of energy that if he doesn't run, he's going to get himself hurt in his stall. So, the team decided it would be nice to race him in Chicago, to let the people in the Midwest have a chance to see him run. And run he did. This race was run at 1 1/8 miles with a purse of $125,000. The challengers were actually grouped as a single betting entry at 6-1. That's right, you could get all the other horses, at 6-1. And Secretariat was a mere 1-20, the legal minimum at the time. Mayor Richard Daley of Chicago declared that the Saturday of the race was Secretariat Day, and a crowd of over 41,000 people was there to witness greatness firsthand. Imagine what we just said there. You got the rest of the field at 6-1. 1 to 20. Have you ever heard of 1 to 20 before?
No, but of
1
course,
to 20.
One of the most impressive things is that Penny and Lucian said, "Hey, let's have other people see this horse. Let's take him to the Midwest." That you're not going to see that in this day and age.
Yes, and remember this date. We're going the 6 months basically after the Belmont for the year because little did I didn't know this really. Secretariat was bought by a syndicate for about $6 million, the equivalent of like 30 million nowadays. And the agreement was he could not run after his 3-year-old year. So they put these races all in. Yeah, that's a fact. I never learned that before, but that's something. So keep that in mind. So now we're making a tour with this horse, and he cooperated on tour. So let's check it out, Tom.
And my gallant, and then Secretariat will be on the outside. And Lucian, look down at that gate now, and you watch where Secretariat breaks, and then give us a comment as you're going to do race lifting.
Tom, he broke dead last.
A little bit of a slow start. Yeah, that was my first. That's what I balled up first.
Broke dead last. I want you to keep an eye on the infield, though. It's kind of fun.
All right, going out to the top as they go to the first turn. That is my gallant. He is sort of in the center of the track, while on the outside now, Blue Chip Dan goes up to take the lead, dropping back in third on the rail in the black and yellow silks. We have our native and Secretariat. Look at Secretariat eat up the ground.
Look at all those cars, first of all.
Look how big his strides are. They're ridiculous. I mean, yeah, look at all those cars. I mean,
Penny Tweedy, there's your champion.
I just hope he can stay out there.
Three rivals.
Love the fact that Penny's in the booth right now. I mean, we need more of that. Like an owner.
How fan-friendly can you get?
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to hear other people talk about this. I don't need to hear us talk about it. I want to talk to like some woman watching the race that owns this horse, that probably loves this horse more than anything.
He's already passed them. They're at the turn now, near the 6 furlong pole, and it's Secretariat.
Bye-bye.
3-length lead. My gallant is running second. Third along the rail is our native. Blue Chip Dan is running fourth. As you look at the fractions, Lucian, 24.
He's going faster than the car behind him. Do you notice that?
I was looking at that.
For the first quarter, pace enough to break the track record.
No, I don't think he'll go faster.
All right. Penny, your champion now, is headed toward the half-mile pole, and he's drawn away to about a 4-length lead.
48.
That's scary. Look at that next horse moving. Come on, big boy, get going.
Yeah, you gotta love Penny. She's actually nervous here, where she should not be nervous at all.
Well, there's got to be an overconfidence that you don't want to be too overconfident. And even though you know Big Red's going to win, got to give. That's what's great. Got to give these other horses credit.
Fantastic.
Something else we don't see these days.
She's legitimately a little bit worried, like about the horses moving.
Oh, yes, he is not really drawn clear, has he?
No.
The number 4 horse, My Gallant, is running second. Our native is third, and Blue Chip Dan is out of the race.
Look at that horse. He's really moving up on him. Come on, Secretariat.
My Gallant is a son of Gallant Man, and now our native, who was third for this horse in 2 races, 2 of the Triple Crown, but Secretariat is out there.
Look at this.
He has a furlong to go. Secretariat leading by enough margin to win this race. It's a Locust Department man. Secretariat. Now the battle is for second. Secretariat the winner.
Oh my Lord.
My Gallant is going to be second. Our native third, and Blue Chip.
Did he even?
Secretariat just obviously she's used to winning by 50. If that's one of my horses, I'm like, okay, we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. Keep it going. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. She's like, no, bury them.
It was a workout, and man, came down on the cargo plane, and this is something that unfortunately we are not going to see again. Literally, the whole country behind this horse, as is evident. Just a regular normal day in June of 1973, people flocked just to see greatness.
It was exactly what was said when I said that in the thing. It is true, just to see greatness, and it is, maybe one day, maybe we'll have people come see horses of that nature, but till then, I mean, that's a lot of people there running in the infield. I think there were a ton of tickets not cashed, like tens of thousands for souvenirs. Yep. I mean, unbelievable. That was great. And now this is where we're going, Tom. Stop Saratoga, so affectionately called the Graveyard of Champions, for the Whitney Stakes on August 4th, where he would face older horses for the first time. On July 27th, he put in a workout of 1:34 for a mile on a sloppy track, a time that would have broken Saratoga's track record. That's right, 1:34 in training.
What? Matt? What is going on?
Now, on this day, Onion was his main competition, a 4-year-old gelding who just set the track record at 6.5 furlongs in his previous start. Now, keep in mind, the track condition for the Whitney was labeled as fast, but was actually running slow, especially along the inside rail, according to all reports that day. And on that day of the race, Secretariat was suffering from a viral infection, which caused a low-grade fever and diarrhea. I was learning then that anything could happen in horse racing, said Jennery. We knew he had a low-grade infection, but we decided he was strong enough to win anyway, and we were wrong. Let's watch the race.
And they're off.
That guy almost.
And that's ruled by reason. Between horses on the outside, there goes Onion, and West Coast Scout is now third. That's Secretariat fourth, and True Night is fifth as they round the clubhouse turn. Onion takes command now, moving quickly to a 2.5 length lead, with West Coast Scout second by ahead, ruled by reason alongside third. A gap of 2 lengths. Secretariat is fourth, 3 lengths farther back.
Now, Onion's a straight-up sprinter. Onion is a straight-up sprinter. I mean, that's just what Onion was. So,
and that's they sent him. And I'll tell you what, though, for an animal that has diarrhea, fourth after going into the first turn isn't too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I've run pretty fast before with diarrhea, but it's usually to the bathroom.
Yeah, but the thing is, you need to go somewhere to get that out. They could just go.
All right, let's move on.
Tonight, as the field moves on to the backstretch, Onion has the lead by a length and 3/4. West Coast Scout is second on the inside by 3 parts of a length. Ruled by reason next, and there goes Secretariat moving through along the inside now to be fourth. A gap of 6 lengths and True Night. Down the backstretch, it's Onion showing the way by a length and a half. And on the outside,
now remember what I said about the inside was running very, very slow that day.
That's what it looks. Yeah.
No excuse, but I mean, and I think there's a point where you might see the stomach grumbling coming up.
West Coast Scout second ahead. There's Secretariat, a closer third on the inside, moving to the leader. 2.5 lengths farther back, ruled by reason. 8 lengths, and it's True Night fifth. They go past the half-mile pole into the far turn. Onion in front by a length. That's Secretariat. On the inside, taking over second position, moving to the leader. West Coast Scout is now third, with Rule by Reason fourth. Far back, it's True Night. On the far turn, Onion in front by a head. Secretariat on the rail, now up to challenge for the lead, coming to the...
Tom, I'm cashing my ticket right now. If I have
yeah, I've seen this a million times. Secretariat's going to just blow past him.
Top of the stretch, it's Onion on the outside, and Secretariat on the rail up to challenge. They turn for home. Yeah, there's 3/16 of a mile to the finish. It's Onion on the outside. Secretariat on the rail, stride for stride, head and down the stretch they come. Onion on the outside, Secretariat on the rail. An 1/8 of a mile to the finish. The leaders head and head, stride for stride. Secretariat and Onion. Onion has the lead by a head. Secretariat on the inside, past the 16th pole. It's Onion in front by a head. On the inside, Secretariat.
That stretch.
Just a
right.
sick, looked like a sick horse, when we said the rail. And honestly, nowadays, you imagine how people would be calling for Turcotte's head for not swinging out wide, like
Yes.
watching the other races,
My first
everything
thought.
like that. Listen, I'm not going to knock a great jockey like he was that rode Secretariat, but I'm sure if he had that back, he's making that move to the outside instead of the inside. But it also looked like a horse that kind of was sick and had enough and got pinched really hard on the rail.
Yeah, did a hell of a job, but just maybe I'd rather just eat some oats.
Yeah, so I mean, now the great one has gone down. This must be, I don't even know what people were thinking then. How, I don't know. Maybe it's like when Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas, right? This isn't real. Did Secretariat just get beat? And he did.
He did.
And he did.
He did.
So how do you bounce back from that? We'll tell you, Tom. Let's move on. Secretariat returned to Belmont Park for the inaugural Marlboro Cup, which was originally intended to be a match race with stablemate River Ridge, the 1972 Derby and Belmont Stakes winner. Since the once unbeatable Secretariat now seemed beatable after his loss in the Whitney, everyone joined the party, which was 7 starters with 63 stakes races between them. Entries included 1972 Turf champion and top California Stakes winners Cougar 2, Canadian champion Kennedy Road, 1972 American champion 3-year-old Cole Key the Mint, Travers winner Annihilate 'em, the only other 3-year-old in the race, and of course Onion.
This is the inaugural Marlboro Cup.
And they're off. On the outside, that's Kennedy Road going for the early lead. Annihilate 'em is second, with River Ridge out in the middle of the track, moving up now to challenge. That's River Ridge on the outside. And along the inside, there goes Onion now moving to contention. Onion on the rail, River Ridge on the outside. Those two heads apart. Kennedy Road is now third.
Now, is this games? Is River Ridge playing the rabbit with Onion?
That was my thought.
I mean, it was supposed to be a match race. I mean, now all these horses think they can beat him. Onion's there back to beat him again. This could.
Don't forget about Onion said. Don't forget about me.
Yeah. This could be a play here with the stablemates.
By a length and a half. Annihilate 'em is fourth, a length and a quarter. Secretariat now fifth on the outside. Gamble 5 lengths. Key to the Mint is next. 6 lengths farther back. It's Cougar. They continue down the back stretch. Onion in front by a length. With River Ridge on the outside, second, 3 parts of a length. Annihilate 'em on the rail is third. Kennedy Road fourth. Secretariat on the outside fifth. Those 5 are tightly bunched as they move past the 5/8 pole. It's 6 lengths farther back to Key to the Mint. Another 6 to Cougar. Around the far turn now, there goes River Ridge up on the outside to challenge Onion. River Ridge gets the...
He's just riding with so much confidence right here. It's just... I mean, he's just Turcotte just must be smooching at him, just go, big boy, just go.
Lead by a head. Onion on the rail drops back second. Here comes Secretariat joining the leaders. River Ridge has the lead by a head. Onion on the rail is second. Secretariat on the outside charges up third. Annihilate 'em is fourth along the rail. Kennedy Road is fifth. As the field comes to the top of the stretch, the entry now running 1-2 from the Meadow Stable. It's River Ridge on the rail in front by a head. Secretariat on the outside challenging. There's a quarter of a mile to the finish. Secretariat on the outside. And River Ridge on the rail. 3/16 of a mile to the finish. On the outside, Turcotte takes Secretariat up now.
He's like, hey, buddy, I know we're kind of cool, but I got to go.
Taking the lead by a length. River Ridge is second. The rest of them fire back as they come into the final 16th of a mile. On the outside, it's Secretariat. Secretariat in front by 2. River Ridge second and Cougar. Secretariat in front.
The 2B shared the 2 with Ridge there. I kind of wonder what the direction was from Lucian there. How to go after.
I think River Ridge. I probably don't know enough about the horse, so I shouldn't be commenting with River Ridge. But it seemed like maybe that's his race. That's what he does. But he definitely went out and burnt Onion out.
He sure did.
River Ridge still ran a good race. It's not like if he dropped back to like 6th, I would have been like, all right, that was a rabbit. But
that's a good day for that stable for 1-2.
River Ridge wins like every other race in the next 20 years at that distance if Secretariat's not in it.
And I think didn't he set a track record there?
With that one, I believe so. I mean, he did it all the time. I mean, it was world records half the time. I mean,
yeah, no, I believe it was a world record too. And
yeah,
and I missed that Marlboro Cup. Our friend Seattle Slew is also a former winner as a spectacular bib.
Yeah. So now we have the horse that's obviously he's back. He's who he is. He's feeling good, but something gets thrown in here. This is an interesting race. Of all his races, this is the most interesting that I found the most interesting. So let's check it out. Secretariat then ran in a race 2 weeks later. That was not part of the plan at all. The actual plan by the barn was to enter River Ridge in the 1.5 mile Woodward Stakes, while Secretariat put in some slow workouts on the turf in preparation for the Man of War at this time in October. The track was sloppy, which is a condition that River Ridge could not handle. So Secretariat stepped in to take his place. I mean, that's like sending up Babe Ruth to pinch hit for Derek Jeter in the 9th. But, my friends, there was no joy in Mudville that day. The mighty Secretariat had struck out.
It is now post time. And they're off. That's Amen on the inside with Prove Out ranging up alongside the challenge for the early lead. Summer Guest is now 3rd, and on the outside, that's Secretariat 4th. A gap of a length and 3/4, and Cougar is 5th as they head to the clubhouse turn. Prove Out in front by 3.
He's wearing the 1A again, so he always has the same owners.
Yeah.
Because River Ridge isn't in there.
No.
Interesting.
3 parts of a length. That's Secretariat on the outside taking over 2nd position. Amen is now 3rd, skimming the rail by 3 parts of a length. Summer Guest 4th on the outside, and Cougar is 5th as they round the clubhouse turn and move to the backstretch. Prove Out in front by 1 length now. Secretariat on the outside is 2nd by 2.5 lengths. Amen races 3rd ahead. Summer Guest inching up on the outside, now 4th. And a length and a half farther back, Cougar is 5th. They move on to the backstretch with Prove Out maintaining the lead now by half length. So on the outside, that's Secretariat now up to...
Now, Secretariat looks like he's going to win right here.
He
Right?
does. Just waiting.
Yeah, and just like comfortable, but let's keep watching because this gets weird.
Challenge, there goes Secretariat on the outside, getting the lead. Secretariat in front now by a length and a half. Prove Out drops back 2nd, a gap of 4 lengths. Cougar now takes over 3rd position toward the inside. Amen is 4th between horses, and on the outside, Summer Guest 5th. Down the backstretch, Secretariat holding on to the lead now by a length and 3/4.
There's something right here where he's getting back to the field. Like, I don't know if it's a cramp.
Yeah,
I have no idea, but this is strange.
Prove Out is 2nd as Cougar moves up on the outside, now a closer 3rd. Amen is 4th, and Summer Guest, the 5 really tightly bunched as they move around the far turn. Secretariat in front by a length and 3/4. And Prove Out on the inside is now 2nd by 3 parts of a length. Cougar on the outside 3rd, followed by Amen. Summer Guest dropping back 5th. As they move to the 3/8 pole.
So you have an early speed horse that he catches and goes by. That horse is usually gone, done. Correct?
Yeah, he's not hanging around. Not a
This
hanger
is-
on.
This is weird.
It's Secretariat in front, holding on to the lead by 2 lengths. On the inside, Prove Out 2nd ahead. Amen moves up, now taking over the 3rd spot. Cougar along the rail is 4th by 5. And Summer Guest, now there's a 1/4 mile to the finish. And on the outside, it's Secretariat in front by a head. Here comes Prove Out. Back into contention on the rail. Now those two are heads apart. Secretariat on the outside. Prove Out gets the lead. Prove Out in front by 1 length. Jorge Velasquez taking the lead with Prove Out. Secretariat drops back. It's Prove Out in front, a 16th of a mile. Prove Out second.
That is a great ride right there.
It's something about that turn where he, like, I don't know, got disinterested or something.
It
When
was
he came around that far
yeah,
turn, when he didn't bury him like he usually does, that was a really, really strange Secretariat. But mind you, once again, was training on turf, wasn't training well on turf at the time. Maybe something was off with him. It's not like nowadays where we get a nuke scan every other day, you get whatever.
no.
You don't know.
Well,
And
we're also
legitimately, like, got put in the race like the day before. Not that the
We're
horse
also
knows
looking
that,
at-
but
we're also
they weren't
looking
training
at
for this race.
we're also looking at the Marlboro Cup was September 15. The race that we just watched was September 29th. That's
Yeah.
that,
And
that,
now,
that
mind
is
you, after he won the Triple Crown and already won like 3 races
back
before that. Like
back to
after
back. And I
that.
mean, I
Like,
know the next we're 2 weeks away from the Man of War, which is also at Belmont. Hey, you see that? You see that painting above my shoulder? That's our guy right there, Secretariat. Great. Love it.
yeah, with the checkers on him. Nice.
Yeah, love the blue
All
and
right.
white.
So that's where we're going next, like you said, the Man of War. And let's talk about that for a second here. Just 9 days after, I repeat, 9 days after the Woodward Stakes, Secretariat was moved to the turf for the Man of War Stakes at a distance of 1.5 miles, where he would face off against Tentum, who had set a world record for 1.1 miles on the turf earlier that summer. Dirt to turf. Let's see how it goes.
We're back at Belmont Park.
And they're off. That's a no-no between horses. After that, it's triangular out in the middle of the racetrack. London Company moving up. And Tim Tam is on the rail, past the stands for the first time. A no-no in front ahead. There goes Secretariat, boldly moving through between horses, getting...
Can you look how big Secretariat's strides are and how big he is and the horse on the
It's-
inside of him?
Yeah, I it's just so smooth. No, nothing's touching the turf right now.
And he's like, I don't know,
Flying.
10 feet strides. I have no idea what they are, but look at him right there. Like, that's just amazing.
The lead by 3 parts of a length. A no-no drops back second. Tim Tam on the rail is third. West Coast Scout fourth at this point. Triangular is now fifth on the hedge. London Company on the outside, a gap of 3.5 lengths, and Big Spruce seventh as they round the clubhouse turn. Secretariat now leads by 2.25 lengths. A no-no is second by 1. That's Tim Tam racing third by a length and 3/4.
This race looks like the courtship of Eddie's father's beginning. Look at, like, I mean, look at him running behind him. Is that a child? I mean, is that a 1973 reference, by the way? Was that a 73 reference?
Hey, it's
Pretty close.
1973. Anything is possible. I don't know. That either that or my mother.
West Coast Scout, fourth by a length and a half. London Company, fifth. Triangular on the edge. And far back, Big Spruce. The field moves on to the backstretch now with Secretariat enjoying a 2.5 length advantage. There goes Tim Tam moving up along the edge, followed by a no-no on the outside, now third. 3 lengths farther back, it's West Coast Scout, London Company, Triangular, and Big Spruce down the backstretch. Secretariat in front.
Now, I think this Tentem has a shot here, right? He's a big move inside outside.
He is making a move, waiting for the space.
Might have been a big mid move though, chasing this big guy.
Yeah, we still have some. We still have got a little bit to go. Might
A lot of
have
race
moved too
left.
quickly.
A lot of race left. 1.5 miles. Yep.
By 3 parts of a length. Tim Tam is now second on the outside. Gap of 3 lengths. A no-no races third by 2. West Coast Scout is fourth. London Company now moving on the outside fifth. Triangular is next. And Big Spruce, they go to the far turn. Secretariat now draws away to lead by 3.5 lengths. Tim Tam dropping back second by 2. A no-no is third as they round the far turn. It's Secretariat. Ron Turcotte aboard. In front by 2.
I felt like they raced a little bit more strategically back then. Like, I feel like we're almost going European nowadays, where it's like the big rush for home. These guys like did mid moves. They did, like, I don't know. It seems,
Which we don't
the more I
see.
watch it.
You're right, which we don't see in the current state of racing. It was more of a chess match.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Tim Tam now trying to close the gap again. 6 lengths farther back to Anono and London Company. As they come to the top of the stretch, Secretariat has the lead by half a length. On the outside, Tim Tam is now second by 7. Triangular moves to the middle of
Now that he's not second by 7 here. I don't know.
No.
Doesn't.
No, he's second by maybe 1.
Maybe.
the track to be third. London Company, Anono, West Coast Scout, and Big Spruce, they're in the stretch. It's Secretariat holding on to the lead by 2 lengths. Tim Tam is second, the others far back. Into the final furlong, Secretariat has the lead by 3. It's Tim Tam second, past the 16th pole. Ron Turcott aboard Secretariat. Secretariat in front.
Look at that. That's beautiful. On that green grass in Elmont, New York. Wow.
It's one of those things where it's so weird because it's just think about it. You know, this horse just went to turf. Like
2 weeks.
I mean,
2 weeks.
9 days. No,
9
not
days.
2 weeks.
9
9
days. Not even
days.
2 weeks.
9 days. Like we don't even work out 9 days later after a race. Now, but and then you go to turf.
No, that was coincidentally enough. That was his first turf race. If I'm
You
not mistaken.
imagine one of our horses nowadays going to turf to just dominate on turf in a big stakes race.
It's not going to happen.
No. It's just
But that is why we do these time machines to talk about the greatness of what we're never going to see again.
well, trying to put people in the place of just try to put yourself there. If you weren't, we weren't. You know, honestly, we weren't. And just try to wrap your mind around it. This amazing, and it's more amazing now because maybe then you were like, oh, this might happen again, and now we realize it every year that goes by, it's just more amazing, and it'll never be.
Yeah, you know what I did find interesting. I believe it was in the Marlboro. The announcer said they're talking about the Belmont, and actually said, "Oh, we referencing the Belmont, the Triple Crown Belmont, one of the greatest races of all time," which obviously still stands to this day.
Stood the test of time. Like at that time, sure, but 50 years from now, probably still sure, which is amazing because it's we're going over. We're 40 years. No, 50 years.
Yeah,
50 years.
50. It'll be 50 years next in 2023.
50 years. It stood the test of time. It's amazing, and that's you're right.
Well, we still have one more to go, right?
We have one more, the Swan Song. That must have been really weird. And there is something that I don't think I mentioned, but I did read that this was a connection thing. The owner and everybody had connections with Canada. Turcott and the trainer also connections in Canada.
Yeah, Turcott, I believe, is Canadian.
Yeah, and I think the trainer was as well. Lauren was as well. So
but Eddie Maple was actually the jock his last race.
Yeah, we'll get into that. He jumped on, which we'll talk about that in a second. Secretariat's last race was against older horses in the Canadian International Stakes, over 1 5/8 of a mile, on the turf at Woodbine Racetrack on October 28th, 1973. Secretariat's regular rider, Ron Turcott, missed the race while serving a 5-day suspension, so Eddie Maple got the mount. The day of the race was cold, windy, and wet, but the turf was firm. The best turf horses in the world came to beat the champ, and over 35,000 people got to witness greatness for the last time.
Zero. Top of the day, first to show in front as Kennedy Road now comes away quickly on the outside, take the lead, and that is Secretariat now rushing up on.
Just in case anybody thought this was live, we showed that it was recorded.
Actually recorded, and gotta love the Woodbine from 1973. Hasn't changed a lick. It's such a beautiful course.
On the extreme outside to go into contention as they swing into the far turn. Kennedy Road has the lead by 1.5 lengths. Secretariat is second with Presidio coming on third. Babe Count is fourth along the inside. Tico's Donna is fifth. Twice Lucky sixth. Fun Coquet is seventh. And now they're midway of the turn.
Did he say fun cocaine?
I'd say they're.
Did he? It sounded like he said fun cocaine. That makes no sense. That should be.
It is 1973.
Well, I think that's a little early. But anyway, that was strange.
But it looks like the top two horses are clearly setting
yeah, let's go and let's have a battle.
As Kennedy Road leads by about 2.5 lengths with Secretariat running along second, a gap of 7 or 8 lengths with Presidio third. Babe Count is fourth. Twice Lucky is fifth. Triangular is on the outside and coming into the stretch for the first time. They're getting set to cross over. They cross over the main track, and it is Kennedy Road on top, and here comes
Secretariat's like, I remember that stuff, that dirt. I'm good with the crossover.
Secretariat on the outside.
And now let's hear from Ron Turcotte and Eddie Arcaro.
Well, that horse.
So they're actually going to talk. Ron Turcotte talks during the race. This is fantastic, guys.
This is the jockey who got suspended for 5 days. This is
and
great.
Eddie Arcaro, which we know him from our Al Snyder story. Little plug for the Al Snyder story. Check that out. Conspiracy.
In the lead, looks quite ranked there and going fast enough, but Eddie's the other one well in hand, and Secretariat well in hand and relax.
Ron, Secretariat doesn't look like a very hard horse to rate, is he?
No, he's very easy. You just sit there with the light hold off him, and he relax and race himself good.
There you go.
It is Kennedy Road on top by a length.
And Ron's like, I hate my life right now having to watch this race because I got suspended. Yeah. How mad was he? How mad?
He couldn't take 5 days off at freaking.
Good for him. Like nowadays, you could appeal that, and they'd let him run in this race, especially in Canada. Of course. But good for him for showing up because I'm probably be more of a baby and not on TV. I'd show up. But
no, they wouldn't.
Half Secretariat is second on the outside. Twice Lucky is now third with Presidio fourth. Triangular coming on fifth on the outside. Babe Count is sixth. Tico's Donna is seventh.
How's it feel to be stalked by Secretariat? Just like he's just on your hip.
It is, yeah. There's no relaxing. There's no relaxing.
No. Just waiting for this big red to come by.
Again, two great jockeys to comment. Ron and Eddie.
Well, Ron, this horse looks like he's got dead end.
Eddie looked like he's coming out and brushing him. Well, he's all right now.
He's in no trouble. It doesn't look like Ron. He's running like a champion should run.
Yep. He's pulling away from him now. That's good. That probably knocked him off stride for a jump.
There he goes. There he goes. Secretariat on the outside.
Real interesting comment there. With Ron said that if he hit him earlier in his career when he was younger, that early, it would have knocked him off stride. So it just shows, like, could we imagine Secretariat at 4 years old? Like, so he's his mature self now.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
Side, heading around the turn. Secretariat has the lead. Kennedy Road is second. Twice Lucky is third. Presidio is fourth. It is all Secretariat. Gets set. He's coming for home. He's coming to the head of the stretch, and he's now in front by about 6 lengths with Kennedy Road second. The crowd is standing, and they're cheering because this is his last race. He's in the stretch in a blaze of glory. Secretariat.
The breath coming out of his nose right there. Like, how fantastic. Just.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's all yours, and he's coming to the wire. He's on top now.
Look at the people. Look at the people.
On the main track.
10 or 12 lengths.
Awesome.
Secretariat has it.
That is awesome.
And it's going to be a race for the second money between Big Spruce and Golden Dawn. Secretariat wins it by 6. Golden Dawn. Rather, Big Spruce was second. Golden Dawn.
Evel Knievel coming up.
Hey, doesn't get much more 1973 than Evel Knievel, but holy wow. Wow.
Amazing, right? Amazing. I'm really dark in here, by the way. I apologize for me being dark. The sun moved apparently while we were doing this show, but I'm still here.
The lack of security was great with fans just running on the main track just to get closer to see history. And that's it. Talk about going out in style. Wow.
And just look at the amount of races that horse ran. Now think about this real quick. Think about whatever you're looking at. I hope this, video lasts for 100 years. So I won't be too topical with the horses nowadays, but I will say, whatever horse you're looking at nowadays, this horse ran 21 races, retired at 3. You don't run that many races at 2. So the greatness, it'll never happen again. And it's because things are, horses are more protected and they won't do it and everything like that. But he kind of set the tone of the syndicate that said, we're going to run until 3 and we're going to breed him, which kind of ended up being crazy because it's not like he produced a lot of great horses. I think he had 1 stakes winner and a filly. But
yeah, it was a sire to a lot of above average, but
more fillies than the Colts, oddly enough. But imagine having him. Imagine if he was gelded and he just ran till he was like 8. You'd be talking about records that, obviously, with staying healthy, but it wasn't like he was a troubled horse. He wasn't a horse that needed 5 months off.
6 times after the Belmont, and we're looking, like we said earlier, September 15th, September 29th, October 8th, October 28th, back to back to back to back. I mean,
after he ran what people now consider the hardest thing in the world to run in the Triple Crown. Like, we don't even have horses that run all 3 races. After he did that, he decided to run every 2 weeks. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. He's the GOAT. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't know. I don't think we'll ever see somebody that'll be better because there'd never be anybody that runs the same rate as him and as great as him. So unless in some way we get a gelding that a very aggressive trainer goes with, good luck.
And I mean, we're looking at, wow. I mean, like we said, almost 50 years. This is something that is going to withstand the test of time. What the story didn't tell in the movie is exactly what we were just talking about, and it is. I think that is just as impressive as the Triple Crown.
I really do. I think
after the Belmont.
It's almost like when we see these things like the dramatic effect of how great it is being in the Belmont and winning the Triple Crown. I mean, and everything, which is great. It's like winning the Derby. It's like almost overrated if you're a real horse fan. It's him overcoming and losing, being sick, coming back, switching surfaces, and still just running his heart out all the time and just becoming a horse that was an ambassador to the sport. Like a horse that was on tour, running on tour, not bringing them around the track like they do with these other horses, which is great, but a horse that like legitimately like ran his heart out. It's almost a better story. That's great. Won the Triple Crown, but he was a very expensive horse. He almost should have won the Triple Crown. Like it was not like
the breeding was off the charts, and just with it is for the lack of a better word, just magnificent for what they did and with what the team did. We talked a lot about Penny and Lucian, and of course the one of the most famous grooms of all time, Eddie Sweat, was just pretty much his best friend through up until he passed away, and the groom, just one of the most important people in the horse's life.
Yeah, amazing story. I learned a lot. That's why I like doing these. I'm always learning, and I try to like put what I learned out to people because maybe maybe you want to relive it, or maybe you want to learn from it. And I think that's really cool.
There. If y'all were at any of these races, please drop a comment. I know there's a couple guys at Delaware Park that saw Secretariat that I hang out with that saw Secretariat.
Yeah, send some pictures if you have them. You know, like we'd love to get those and put those up. It's fantastic. We'd love to hear your stories. Of course, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for staying till the end. That was 1973, Tom. I feel like we got to get out of the 70s for the next one. I feel like we've been in the 70s too long.
We do.
But we'll get something coming up.
Racing was just so great in the 70s, but I think we can cook up something else.
I agree.